bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Alongside Chris Snead, I'm Chois Woodman. You got the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score. With you till 3 o'clock today. Keep the commentary rolling in. We will roll into plenty of your thoughts here momentarily. I've got a question for the group as well. Unauthorized question. So,
unauthorized or authorized?
It's unauthorized. Okay. The question of the day is coming up at 1:30 from Jamie or somebody. Maybe it's Brennan. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get to the chat line. There's quite a bit in there. Snead's cousin getting arrested? Yes.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Chauncey Billups and I are third cousins.
If you haven't seen Snead call lines at a volleyball game, you need to. He only missed one call that I saw. He gets into it. Good to see you, man.
I actually didn't miss any calls.
That you saw.
Well, I know which call he's. I'm going to say he's a fan of the team that won that game, and they didn't like one call, but
you only missed one. That's a good.
I was 4 feet away from it, and the only thing I'm looking at is that line, and I caution fans to realize the ball has to hit some part of that line.
That's true.
Which it didn't.
Ball flattens out, you know.
I'm aware of that.
I'm just messing with you. I don't. Snead, do you know how the ref that was permanently suspended? And what do you think about it? Is this the? Okay.
I want to go ahead and just say this. Yes, I know him. I don't have any comment on that.
There we go. One time I met Chauncey was when he came into the stands after a Tech college basketball game with hate in his eyes. He was a big boy, so I thought better and turned and got away. That was the Colorado game after he hit the three, right?
Yep, 3 to win.
96? 5?
95.
I think it was the 95-96
season.
He played them before the new year, so yeah, I think that's right. Only a 36.5 point.
No, that's not true. Because the 95-96 season is the year that we went 30-2, and we only lost it to.
Were they not?
No, it was 95.
Yeah,
it was the 94-95 season.
They weren't the one loss?
No, Eastern Michigan was the one loss. Earl Boykins, Eastern Michigan.
That's right.
First round of the Sun Carnival tournament.
96-97.
Yeah, it was 96-97. Yeah, because we had just come off the 30-2 season.
Yep. Chris says only a 36.5 point spread now. Hammond's only a 2 point difference. I say 10-ish points.
I am going to. I'm going to go ahead and put up my prediction.
Yeah.
And do it now.
Yeah, you can. It's out at doubleTSportsNetwork.com.
59-0 Tech.
Oh, man, I think a shutout would be so delectable. I'm in, but shutouts are so hard to do.
They are 59-0 Tech.
I'm in.
I think this team has something to prove. I think Will Hammond has something to prove. I think Mac Leftwich has something to prove this week after the colossal egg that was laid last week in Sun Devil Stadium. And there's a lot of people that have a lot to prove this week, and kind of feel bad for Oklahoma State. It's like walking into the Lions' den.
Just can't bet with the mob. That's a little different with 1.8 million private poker losses to nefarious mob associates, but maybe better for his potential career rather than Rozier idiot scandal. Yeah, those are two separate things.
Yeah. And I hate it,
poker thing.
I hate it for my cousin. And, as I told Choice, if you're going to celebrate knowing him when things are good, you better still know him when things are bad. And I'm not going to turn my back on family. And, it sucks. We're not like Tyler. We're third cousins. We've met one time. We met at a family reunion back in the late 90s, when he was in college and I was, just out of college. So.
Wolffutter says Honolulu blue is my favorite. Let's go with a Lions picture.
That's the Lions.
He's a Lions fan?
He's everyone's fan. He's kind of like Lucas.
Cooper Flag, what was his stats last night? So glad they won the lottery for the top pick. If you're giving up on Cooper Flag after the first game, I think Victor Wembanyama, who went for 40 last night, had, I think, like 8 points in his debut.
Yeah, and that's part of the microwave society that we live in.
Yeah,
you want to at the clown mouth, and they hand food out the window to you, and everyone wants it now. And hey, I get it. We all want to win. We all want to win right now.
So Cooper Flag basically is replacing, if you want to look at this way, Luka Doncic, who was a 7 or 8 year vet in the league.
Yeah,
there's a big difference there. Rookies in the NBA can come in and put up good numbers, but they largely don't have good teams. That's what made LeBron.
That's the reason why they're on bad teams.
That's what made LeBron so different. He was able to lead his team to the playoffs after they were really bad.
He went. He did a double-double last night. 10 points, 10 rebounds.
Yeah, it's
1 assist, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 4 of 13 from the field, 32 minutes of play.
A couple texts towards Tech football here. I really hope Leftwich opens up the playbook for Hammond. Get him comfortable throwing against a very bad team. Perfect opportunity. Another one says, can we please use our running backs? I'm in more agreement with the second text than the first. I don't think you were limited on playbook on Saturday. I think you got into situations where every offensive coordinator in the history of ever, I won't say that. Every offensive coordinator that has spread and throwing tendencies within their offense gets away from the run more than they intend to. In certain games, it happens. You ask Mac Leftwich if he would have run the ball more, I guarantee you he would say, yes, we would have gotten to running the football.
I would say this.
He did say that this week.
He did, yeah.
Word for word.
I would say this is where the youth of Mac Leftwich comes into play. The veteran, and I'm talking about, yes, hey, I know he's an offensive genius and a guru, but he's been doing it for 3 years. Okay, a guy that's been doing it for 10 or 12 years, I think probably knows in his mind and his heart he's got to stay with the run, and I think Leftwich probably, And I'm not saying it to disparage the guy. I'm not saying to disparage the guy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it from a point of experience. That when I was younger, I did things a little bit more impulsively than I do today, and I see the game differently than I did 10, 15 years ago, even as a fan.
I know everybody wants you to call the touchdown play.
Of course,
everybody wants that. I'm not saying the play calling was perfect. It wasn't. He's not claiming it's perfect, but I don't think there was a limitation around Will Hammond the way people were talking about. There were throws down the field that Will Hammond missed.
I do think there was a limitation.
There were open receivers that Will Hammond didn't see. The only alteration to the playbook is you ran it more with the quarterback than you would have.
You made him
Morton.
more of the focus of the offense than Barry Morton's been.
Well, I think that you utilize quarterback power a whole lot more than you normally would. And you did
that because you had success the previous week.
I don't know, but the success was against a lesser defensive front.
Absolutely, it was.
And I think that after the first couple of times, I would have gotten away from quarterback power. And the problem was
you didn't keep the quarterback power going.
Yeah, a lot of those runs
they ran quarterback power about 6 times.
A lot of those runs we're remembering too are an RPO setup where it's Hammond's decision to run or not run. And then we're like, oh, it's quarterback. And I'm not saying it's quarterback power, quarterback draw.
The youth of a freshman quarterback.
I think that showed in the game.
He's saying, hey, I can do this. I trucked a guy in the Kansas game. I'm going to truck a guy in this game. And he ended up trucking a guy.
He did.
But
on a 2-point conversion.
I mean, he didn't do that, and it cost him.
Look, I thought there was a timidity to the way Hammond ran the ball, especially early in the game. I think you nailed it to me. The youth of a freshman quarterback showed out a lot more than any sort of play calling issues in this game. But just my opinion. That's how I feel.
I do think there was an inexperience of play calling from the play caller.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, I'm not knocking Mac Leftwich at all. I'm just pointing out a fact that the guy's he was at Texas State for a year. And where was it? Incarnate Word before that?
Mm-hmm.
For a year? He's in his 3rd year? 4th year?
He was at Texas State for 2 years.
2 years? So he's in his
2 years, and he was in
4th year
Word,
tops?
I think, for 2 years. Yeah.
And I am not dogging the guy. I'm just saying, you know what? When I was and I always come back to officiating. But when my 4th year of officiating, I didn't know everything, and I certainly wasn't as good as...
No.
My 4th year of radio, my 4th year of everything I've done in my life, I probably wasn't very good at it.
I do think that there was a little, it seemed like a little bullheadedness to change what he thought would work in that game.
Yeah.
For sure. And like we talk about, hey, players are allowed to get better from week to week. Well,
100%.
Coaches are going to have a bad week. Play callers are going to have a bad week. They're allowed to get better too.
I 1,000% agree with you.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
The Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107 The Score mobile app. Yours on television, Fox 34 News Now, TSportsNetwork.com. However, wherever you're taking us in from, we are glad that you've decided to make us part of your Thursday afternoon, alongside Jamie Lent, who joins us in the First United Bank studio. I'm Chois Woodman. Brennan Riker across the way taking care of us. You can also join the conversation if you'd like. Your thoughts, comments, questions, more than welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Take the app anywhere with you. Even listen in if you're out in Skullbone, Tennessee. What's up, Jamie?
Oh, not too much. Excited for a great Thursday.
All right. Me too. Jamie, I'm going to ask you the same question. Brennan joins us over there as well, so feel free to chime in. I want you guys to pull up. This is an unauthorized question today, so we don't need any extra pomp and circumstance for it, but pull up your Big 12 schedule for the week. I want you to tell me which upset you think is the most likely to happen and which one is the best to happen for the Red Raiders, which one you're rooting for. I just asked Snead this question.
Man, there's a few that I wouldn't be shocked with. I wouldn't be shocked for Kansas State to beat Kansas.
Okay.
I would not be shocked for BYU to beat Iowa State.
Yeah, that one's hard to whichever way you're calling it an upset doesn't feel. Because Vegas-wise, Iowa State's the favorite, but BYU is obviously the undefeated team.
And I wouldn't be shocked for Baylor to win at Cincinnati.
Okay.
Okay, so now you're asking me which one is the most likely.
Most likely.
I think I'll take BYU over Iowa State.
Okay. Brennan?
I think the most likely upset of the weekend will be Kansas State over Kansas, just because even though Kansas might be the better team than Kansas State as of this moment, that's a Jayhawk squad that can't get over the hump in that series. Kansas State owns them. Oh.
Very much so.
There
was a Jayhawk that tried to
Kansas
attack
fan
Brennan.
just assaulted me.
Hey, Brennan, I got something for you that will blow your mind. Okay?
You have Jayhawk repellent spray?
Oh, man, that would be fantastic. Gosh, that would be great. Have you read the Big 12 preview on the Double T Sports Network this week? Have you?
I have not.
You have not. You would find out and be very surprised to know that Kansas leads the all-time series by 11 games.
Really?
So you really can't say Kansas State owns them. They just own them over the last 16 seasons.
Basically all of Clint's adult life. Is what
I was getting there to that point.
When did he become an adult?
Man, why do you have to be right all the time, Jamie?
Yeah, 16 in a row, but Kansas still leads the all-time series.
That's a
by
big
11. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I was shocked to read that stat.
And it does make sense because there for a very, very long time, Kansas State was
really
bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think out of this weekend, Kansas State beating Kansas is a very likely upset. I got to lock the door behind me sometimes when I'm talking about
I think
Kansas.
you really ought to, yeah.
Yeah, now Choice asked also, what is the best for Texas Tech?
Houston beating Arizona State.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay, that's the most popular answer.
Yeah.
My answer is Cincinnati. I'm ready to just weed them out of the conversation because I think you're still going to have other things take care of themselves. I would be all for Houston beating Arizona State as well. And
no Jordan Tyson?
That doesn't make that big of an effect on me. I mean, maybe a couple points in the point spread for me.
I still think Arizona State wins, but
I do think Houston's got a really good defense.
He's clearly their go-to guy.
So if Houston's able to really shut down the Arizona State offense, I still question whether they can get their offense going enough to win the football game. So I don't have a lot of faith that one will happen, but that would be – I do agree with y'all. It'd be a really good result for Texas Tech and some others in the league. Mm-hmm. By the way, you were talking about all-time series. Do you happen to know Texas Tech's all-time series record against the Pokes?
It is tied.
It is tied. So this is a big game, Jamie. I'm searching for anything to call this a big game.
Sure.
37.5 point spread. 24, 24, and 3. All-time. Red Raiders can regain the all-time advantage. After Tech owned it for a while, there was a stretch there where Oklahoma State got the best of the Red Raiders for quite some time. 09 to 15, they had wins in all, 6 consecutive wins. But no. 09 to 17. Oof. Yeah, I hope the Red Raiders are able to exercise some demons against the Pokes because there were unfortunately, some lopsided results. Do you know the largest margin of victory? We know the one that happened on Oklahoma State's side, the 66-6 game. Do you remember the one where Tech had their largest margin of victory? Because it has been in your fandom time.
I do not.
I don't remember this game, and I remember most in the Leach era. This was early Leach era. 58-0 in 2000. I can't remember. That must have been a game that wasn't televised because there were still games back in those days.
We pitched a shutout?
Yeah, I don't remember it. 58-0.
In the Leach era?
Well, he was still playing with Spike's defense there in 2000, so someone's going to have to jog my memory on that game. Because
I do not remember
that is not one that I remember very well. 58-0. I had to check the tech notes to make sure this website I'm using is correct. It is correct. So, yeah, I'm guessing that was a non-TV game. Most of their wins came between 09 and 24. Yep, unfortunately. Well, last year you beat them. Last couple of years, right? Yeah, Tech has won. No, just last year because you didn't play them. You didn't play them in 23. I forgot that was the first gap of playing them since they had been Big 12 opponents since 1995. All right, y'all keep your commentary rolling in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line.
We scored 27 points in the third, 21 in the second.
In that game?
In that game.
Wow. We'll return.
And they scored never.
I would guess Cliff Kingsbury had a pretty good day.
Cliff Kingsbury did have a very good day.
That might have been his, coming out party type of game.
30 for 43, 236, 3 touchdowns.
Nice. It's the bottom line. We'll get back to some more of your thoughts and different quarterback for Tech. Actually, the same one. Next on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thursday afternoon. Bottom line on 100.7 Score and the 100.7 Score mobile app. Choice Jamie Brennan here in the First United Bank studio. We'll get back to some of your thoughts. Brace yourself, Oklahoma State fans. We're going to go through the numbers on these two teams in a moment. It's not pretty. I actually met a listener yesterday out in the wild.
It's good.
And he said he loves listening to our shows, but he hadn't been listening this week because
he's a Cowboys fan?
Well, two things. One, because of the loss and, angry fans, and then also because of he graduated from Oklahoma State. So, but he's more of a Red Raider fan. He said he grew up in Lubbock. He just happened to go to Oklahoma State and said he only went to like 5 games while he was a student there.
Okay.
He's gone to way more Tech games than he's always been.
All right. Yeah.
So shout out to Kirk. Thanks for listening. Or not this week. Let's see, from the chat line, go 11-1, and I'm not sure I want to play in the Big 12 championship game. Think we would still get into the college football playoff. That is interesting. If you lost a scenario, if you lost a 3-way tiebreak, I truly do think you would still get in at 11-1. I mean, you're sitting 14th ranked right now. You're sitting at 14. I think you're going to climb into the top 10 again before the end of the season. I believe you will, because I think there will be enough losses, especially with the SEC beating up on each other. I'm not sure that wouldn't be a... I mean, you wouldn't get that Big 12 championship, but I think you would get in a large bid.
Still get in.
Yeah.
You think the other 2 Big 12 teams are getting in?
I think one of them is. And that's what kind of stinks, is like just because he didn't get in. I think the committee will view Texas Tech as a better team than others in there. If BYU's lone loss is Texas Tech, that would be really interesting of a scenario. If it's BYU and Arizona State, if that's the 2 that would play in ahead of you, which I don't think that scenario even works out. But that's an interesting thought for sure, that it could happen.
It's crazy to think about, right?
I know.
And man, wouldn't you be irate if you were the one that lost the Big 12 championship game
and then you
didn't get in, and you're like, hey, we were in the conference title game, they weren't.
Yeah, man.
So they were rewarded for not playing in it.
That would be rough, wouldn't it?
That would be really rough.
Yeah. But I think if you were asking committee by eye test and that sort of thing.
Yeah, man, your non-conference schedule would probably hurt you a little bit there.
But we have absolutely seen the committee take the best teams and not the most deserving teams before.
Yeah.
We've seen them do that. The Florida State example will be there forever, of a 13-0 team that didn't make the college football playoff because they didn't have their quarterback. Yep. Someone says, I want Cincinnati and Arizona State to lose because we have no control over the rest of their season. BYU coming to Lubbock undefeated and beating them would be a great win.
Yep, I think that makes sense.
I think I kind of root for that one too, for BYU to be unbeaten when they get to Lubbock. If I still think you're going to win that game.
Which would have them most likely as an inside the top 10 team.
Yes.
So that would be a top 10 win for you.
There's, a legit chance if you're winning out to that point that you could get game day or big noon kickoff here. There'd be a lot of hype around that game, so I think that's kind of what I'm rooting for. Is Snead heading to bail out cousin Chauncey? He might be. I don't know. He's gone. So,
what a story.
Gosh, man. It's crazy. If Levitt doesn't play, I think Houston wins. So if he goes down early and no wide receiver one, Houston has a shot. Probably not going to happen if Levitt plays the whole game, but no Tyson, and coming off of a high, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I would expect Levitt to play, and
I might be underselling the Tyson thing, or undervaluing its brevity.
Him not being there.
Yeah, I think because Tyson again had like 90-something targets this year. Again, it actually may be in the 100 territory now. And the next closest receiver is down around 30. And that's
and so remember that, last week you're paying special attention, or you're trying to, even though he still had a solid game against you. against him as the number one guy.
Yep.
I mean, the dude on that offense as far as the wide receiver position goes. And so that means now you're going to be focused on the number two guy, maybe the guy who torched the Red Raiders for 2 deep balls or whatever. So that does change things a little bit as far as your go-to guy.
And
but
the difference
feels like they have enough weapons, though.
Yeah, and the difference is Houston, if they play like they did against Texas Tech, and this is what they've shown all year, they drop their safeties back deep. They keep everything in front of them. Mm-hmm. Now, so the deep ball probably won't be there for Arizona State. I just don't know if Houston has the pass rush to really affect Leavitt too. So it's going to be a game, I think. Will Arizona State be willing to nickel and dime you to death on some shorter throws and be able to beat Houston that way? Because no Tyson. Tyson largely caught a lot of 5 to 10 yard passes this year. Mm-hmm. That's why he's been targeted so much. But if that security blanket's not there for Leavitt, what does that do? It's an interesting game, no doubt. We definitely want both Arizona State and BYU to keep winning. That helps us more than anything. It all depends on your outlook on Texas Tech, on what helps you. If your anticipation is that you're going to be an at-large team, you want the league to look as good as possible.
Sure.
If it's all about
getting into the Big 12 title game, then
you want teams to lose
teams like
in front
that. You
of
want to lose.
Yeah, you don't want teams to. But if you're going to be, if you believe Texas Tech's going undefeated and you have no worries there, if you're like, hey, we're going to the Big 12 championship because we'll be 8-1, then you do want the league to look as good as possible because you want the best team playing possible there for seeding purposes in the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. So you still want some good at the top. But if it's just about getting to the Big 12 championship game, then you want teams to lose in front of you. All right, Jamie, by the numbers, Tech and Oklahoma State. This is rather ugly.
But let's be honest. Pretty much anybody versus Oklahoma State this year in the Big 12, it's not going to be great, right?
You won't find this big of a discrepancy because Tech is Tech is top 3 in most Big 12 categories.
Right.
So it looks like huge discrepancies here. Scoring offense. Texas Tech's at 43.9 points per game, which is 4th in the country, first in the Big 12. OSU's sitting at 16.6 points per game this year. Dead last in the Big 12. Mm-hmm. Total offense, same thing. Tech's 3rd in the nation. OSU's dead last. 517 yards, 311 yards. Rushing offense. Texas Tech's top 20 in the country. When's the last time we were this deep in a season as the
rush offense? Yeah.
That is 215 yards per game. OSU, hey, they're inside the top 100 and not last in the Big 12, 139 yards per game.
Okay.
Passing offense, 302 yards per game for Tech. That is 9th in the nation, 3rd in the Big 12. It's 172 for Oklahoma State, 15th in the Big 12. And scoring defense, the scoring offense and the scoring defense are the numbers that stand out big time. Texas Tech's only giving up 14 points per game, 14.1. Mm-hmm. Remember back when we were like, if you can just be under 30 points per game, or defensively.
Sure, then you'd have a good chance because your offense was so good.
We talked about that. Right. OSU is giving up 38.4 points per game, which is 131st out of 136 teams in the country.
Okay.
Anybody that's predicting a blowout here, I mean, you are as justified as it gets because they've got the worst offense, they've got the worst defense in the Big 12. Texas Tech has the best defense and the best offense in the Big 12. There's a reason that is the largest point spread in Big 12 history this week.
Crazy.
And I honestly think the Red Raiders are going to cover. You can see all of our predictions up at doubletsportsnetwork.com. Jamie's posted that this week. More from you on the chat line. We've got a question of the day from Brennan next on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Appreciate you hanging out on a Thursday. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. We'll return to more of your thoughts and comments coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line in a little bit. But right now, it's time for a question.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, gentlemen. Why are we doing exercises right now?
So it's just warm-ups.
Warm-ups?
For the question.
Okay.
Do you ever do that? The little circles and then big circles?
No, I don't think I did.
Man, no wonder you're struggling so much as an old man.
Struggling. Okay.
Or just, outpacing me by a ton. When you're
I was about to say, that sounds like a choice is projecting.
He ran a 5K the other day, and I'm sitting here figuring out where my next snack is. All right, go ahead, Brennan. No.
All right, so I think one of the things that was obviously disappointing from last Saturday was the offense against Arizona State. It took you till the fourth quarter to really get going, but a new opportunity this week against Oklahoma State. So this is a fill-in-the-blank question. The Texas Tech offense will be what on Saturday?
Man, these are my least favorite questions on tests and stuff. So much easier to just pick from an answer they've already got. Fill in the blank. You got one?
I think the Texas Tech offense will be more explosive. I would take vertical.
Yep.
I would take more versatile.
I think all of these things are going to happen. Mine is a hyphenated word. Are those allowed? Did you say one word, or you didn't say?
It was just a fill in the blank, so if you need a hyphen in there.
Running back oriented is what I would say. I think you're going to see your running backs much more involved than they were a week ago. I'm with you. I also think it's more explosive, and I do think you're going to go over the top more. This is going to sound extremely cocky, but again, I just went through those numbers for you, Jamie. You should be able to do anything you want. Even with a backup quarterback starting, you should be able to do anything you want against this defense. Mac Leftwich should have a field day in getting everybody involved, running the football when you want to run it, throwing the football when you want to throw it. It's wide open for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can fill in the blank however you want, and it can come true.
Yeah. For me, I have Texas Tech being more effective on offense this week. I think you weren't effective last week for a better part of that game, especially in the run game. And I think against Oklahoma State, you will see a more effective run game because that just makes your offense so much more versatile. It makes things look a lot more smoother. It's the idea of set up the pass game with the run game, and you weren't able to do any of that against Arizona State on Saturday. So I truly expect you to be way more efficient offensively than you were on Saturday against Arizona State.
Yep. All right, y'all continue to bring in your commentary on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Answer Brennan's question. Texas Tech offense will be what on Saturday? Now, it wouldn't be a good journalist, which I've never claimed to be a journalist, by the way, if I didn't tell you the categories that Oklahoma State bests Tech in. There's 3 of them. They've got, and I'm going from the Tech game notes, by the way, they've got like 20 categories. There are 3 statistical categories where Oklahoma State is better than Texas Tech this year.
Penalties?
Penalty yardage per game. Texas Tech is 124th nationally at 71.14. OSU's only 95th nationally at 62 penalty yards per game.
Okay, so there's one.
So you got one.
Punt return average.
I don't have that one down, so it's possible. You had a pretty big punt return on Saturday that boosted that. So
he did, but that's
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
seems like the other ones were by Gentry and they got called back.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, Coy's done a great job of fielding and not fumbling and not letting the ball roll deeper towards our end zone, but at the same time, there's not been a lot of big plays in the return game.
So you're in the right room. Net punting.
They have a better punter?
They actually have a punter that's
really good.
Yeah, he has been. 41.43 is Burgess's average, though. 52.10. And this
wow. So 10 yards more?
Did I say 52? 42.10.
Okay.
52 is huge for a punter.
Goodness.
It's like best in the country.
First round pick for a punter.
42.10.
Okay. So
barely better, but a little bit. And Burgess is 34th in the country on that. So it's still not bad. Mm-hmm. The OSU, and maybe he's just got that much more practice than everybody else.
Maybe.
The last category where Oklahoma State is better than Tech. I thought I counted 3. I might have lied. I think there's only 2. Never mind. So 2 categories. It was punting. Oh, there it is. I found it. Time of possession. You have the ball 28-19 a game. OSU has it 28-50 a game. So not a huge gap there. But I think you haven't seen time of possession be a problem at all for the Red Raiders this year until this past weekend.
Right.
Obviously, when you're leading by a lot, you don't care at all about time of possession. And sometimes big plays take away from that stat. It's one of those stats that you can warp if you need to. I'd say 80% of the time I don't care about time of possession. But there are times where it does actually factor in. I think last week, Arizona State, who I think leads the league in time of possession, definitely lengthened out drives and used that to their advantage to keep Tech's offense off the field. Mm-hmm. But I don't think you'll see a ton of teams in the league.
Yeah, and keep your defense on the field, kind of wearing them down.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll see a ton of other teams outside of maybe the one you face next week try to do that against you. And I said try. User Kamo says Tech covers by 10 plus, and OSU won't score more than 10 if they score at all. Sorry to my firstborn child. So, you bet your firstborn child on this?
I assume that means his firstborn child is a Oklahoma State fan.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was just thinking they laid a wager down of his first. You were thinking more logically than me, so doesn't happen often. I'm sitting here figuring out where my next snack is. I don't like Brennan. I'm going to get to the point where I just don't say anything anymore. Brennan, you're going to have to talk.
Choice is going to become a mime. And then he's going to learn sign language.
A fun thought I just had. This is not me. This is the chat line. Non-scale victory, so to speak. I've lost over 115 pounds in the last 13 months. That's awesome.
Awesome.
I always thought a 5K was ridiculous, a ridiculous distance to run. Just now I Googled the distance. It's only 3.1 miles. I've run 3.5 miles at least twice a week now that I'm in shape. Crazy how perspective can change. Anyway, thanks for reading. Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah.
115 pounds. Keep it going if you need to. You may be at your target weight. So
yeah.
Well, that's
don't shrivel
amazing.
up.
I know if you're running 3.5 miles twice a week, you're probably in pretty good shape. So you don't have to keep it going. Go eat some ice cream. No? Okay.
Go for a burger.
Remember when Jamie told us Tyson was faking an injury and was being selfish? Why is he out this week? Man, he's really on the long play with this fake.
Yeah, he's really faking.
He's really looking for the attention now.
So clearly he was hurt some, but I mean, how do you go from hurting to dancing to, and again, you sit there on the field that long in acting as if I can't walk over to the sideline.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. When the trainers came out, they didn't do anything to him to make his hamstring better so he could walk over there. I mean, you're bringing attention to yourself. There's no question.
Speaking of injuries,
we'll go milking the injury a little bit.
Yes. Speaking of injuries, we'll go through the Texas Tech injury report that was put out yesterday, coming up in a little bit. Also have a dad joke or two and a deep thought of the day.
Awesome.
Next on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score. On the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Chois Woodman, Josh Faupel, Brennan, Riker. All with you this afternoon. Get you some most interesting facts of the day 15 minutes from now. Right now, we tell Josh how wrong he is. Woo! If you're gonna do the finger guns, you gotta make the noise. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Okay.
Josh knows what a setup that was.
Right, you got to.
Well, gentlemen.
Sorry for throwing you off your game there.
Yeah, it's fine. I've been distracted basically the past two segments because
we have draft day on for no real reason. The movie draft day.
My favorite scenes in the entire movie came on anyway.
Tell me I'm wrong is draft day gets far too much besmirching that it does not deserve. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, that's a bad sports movie. It is top 10 football movie of all time.
I think it's a good. I say this about a lot of movies, not a lot of movies, but it's like 3-star movie, 5-star movie watching experience.
Okay, that's okay. I could pick up on that. All right, you. Okay, sorry, I distracted you.
All right, folks.
More. We can.
I have a couple of them that I went back and forth between, and I probably believe in one of them more. But for the sake of the segment, we'll see if we have time for both of them. All right. I believe that Texas Tech can get back. Actually, I think the loss was inconsequential in terms of the playoff committee. That's my full statement.
Okay, give me your full statement.
My full statement is I think the loss, in terms of Texas Tech, the loss to Arizona State in full context means nothing because that's the perception of Texas Tech. That's the perception of the Big 12. And the resume that you can put together between here and the Big 12 championship is the same as if you would have gone undefeated. The loss in the long run to the committee means nothing.
I'm going to say you're wrong.
Okay.
But only in that it doesn't mean nothing. If your statement is it means nothing or it's inconsequential to Texas Tech getting into the playoff, I agree with you. But stating that to the committee it means nothing, it affects your seeding. I think there was a decent chance if you went undefeated, you would have been a top 4 seed and had a bye. I think the bye is mostly out the door at this point, but I still think if you went out, you'll host in Lubbock.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, I'm going to say you're wrong because if let's go further in the future, you have this loss on your resume. Let's say you don't win the Big 12 championship, no matter if you don't get there or you play in the game and you don't win.
Yeah.
This is the loss that's going to set you back
it's gonna hurt you.
From getting into the college football playoff.
Yes.
Okay, so
I think individually the loss, I think you're right on it. Individually the loss is not keeping you out.
So the way that I approached it is I think it's inconsequential in that I don't think you were getting a bye pretty much regardless.
Okay.
Because of the perception of the Big 12 and like Texas Tech is kind of setting the stage for what the Big 12 could be or what the top of the Big 12 is. But unless Tech climbed their way up to 3 in the AP poll or something like that, I don't think they were getting the bye. So, I am of the belief that they were not getting the bye.
So let's devil's advocate this thing. Let's dive in. Texas Tech was sitting at 7. Let's flip everything like you won on Saturday. You would have hopped up over... Let's see, Georgia was behind you. Oregon was behind you. Georgia may have hopped Tech this past week. You would have been no less than 6. Mm-hmm. Georgia and Alabama still have losable games on their schedule. One of them is going to lose at least in an SEC championship. So there's one spot you gain there. Same with A&M. There's 3 SEC teams up there. I think you're hopping 2 of them eventually if you would have won on Saturday. Indiana and Ohio State will play in a Big Ten championship. Or do they play before that? They play before that, right? I think. Either way, Indiana is going to – one of those 2 teams is going to lose. How much do they get knocked? I don't know. Tech would have been in the top 4 in my mind. I think you would have made – if you went undefeated, you would have worked your way into the top 4, especially because of how many games you've won by blowout fashion. Like you've passed the eye test this year. So
see, we can say that.
Oh, I think I was listening to enough national people like Josh Pate and like Joel Klatt and
but those are the same people who are defenders of Texas Tech even today after the loss. It's not they're not suddenly saying like, oh well, I guess paper tigers or whatever. Like it was.
We don't know the true answer to this until after next weekend, because I think the following Tuesday, 2 weeks from 12 days out, 2 weeks from Tuesday, I think it's when we get our first college football playoff committee ranking. That's when we find out what the people that matter think of Texas Tech. That's when we find out. So, largely, I think your loss affected you somehow. Whether it's going from hosting or going from a bye to just hosting or from hosting to not hosting, then I think that's where your loss affected you. But I still think you look at the teams in front of you, there's going to be enough losses there. The only way Texas Tech's really locking in a spot is winning out. So if the teams lose in front of you, like we think several will, including an Ole Miss, including a Georgia Tech, including a Vanderbilt's going to get another loss, obviously BYU, there's enough teams in front of you that it's going to lose. I think Tech will climb back into hosting territory.
So a more specific question, and probably the better question, the statement, would have specified hosting, because that is what I mean. It will affect seeding. I realize it'll affect seeding, but I was never of the opinion that they were going to host, and I don't think that
you don't think Tech will host.
I don't think they ever would have. I don't think they could have won out, and I don't think they would have hosted.
Hosted or had a bye.
Had a bye. Oh, sorry, had a bye. There you go. That's what I mean. I don't think they would have had a bye.
Okay.
I still think they can host.
Yeah.
But they have 4 seeds of wiggle room to host. And that probably does come with, style points and winning the Big 12 championship.
Texter here says, hold up, you think Tech wasn't going to get a bye if you went 12 or 13-0? LOL, dude.
Correct.
He said, not sure you know ball. That was rude. I think you know ball. I just think you're wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Which is the whole idea.
Also, it is the point of the segment.
It is kind of, you're trying to throw a hot take out there. Kind of the point there.
Even last year, you could look at last year, and if the last year's setup was this year's playoff setup, it would have been 4 completely different teams at the top for the top 4.
Sure.
And now it's different rules with championships and stuff like championships are they're not hosts anymore, or they're not buys, automatic buys anymore.
I don't think it's a crazy thought to think Tech could still get a bye. Now I would put the odds against it by quite a bit. I think Tech could still work their way into that territory, depending what happens in the SEC, depending if Indiana loses and how bad. Does Oregon suffer another loss? There's plenty of teams that can lose in front. And I think you kind of want BYU to win this week, because if they're a top 10 team when they come here and you beat them, you get more clout for that, and you will probably hop higher in the rankings for that. So I don't think it's crazy to think that. I think if I'm guessing, the highest Tech will get is probably a 6 seed hosting an 11 seed.
Truly,
right now you still have plenty of the projections, which you can check out at doubletsportsnetwork.com, that have Tech as a host.
Yeah. truly what I believe is that the AP poll, or a lot of what the college playoff believes, follows the same thinking as the AP poll. And the AP poll, I think, will look for excuses to push you down, even if you're an undefeated team.
Oftentimes that is the case. But the difference this year is how badly you've beat teams up until last week. And if you get back to that on the other side of the loss, I think you're still going to impress a lot of people.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.